welcome to JoJo's Homemaker and Lifestyle. Well, if you've not watched before, my name's Joanne and I do lifestyle and vlogs. Sometimes we go out and about, but today I'm going to be making a cottage pie and some cakes. Now, I've got some guests coming in this weekend. We've got Maggie coming in whose birthday it is, and she's asked me to make some cakes for her to take to bingo and one also to take home when she goes on Monday. So I've got 6 vanilla cupcakes to make, 6 chocolate cupcakes to make for her to take to bingo, and then she wants a black forest, a small black forest cake to take home on Monday. I've also got some other guests coming in and I'm making them evening meal, the Philmar Special pancakes. So I'll be making those as well over the weekend, and they are filled with cherry pie filling and served with ice cream. And also I will be asking some other guests if they'd also like evening meals. I'm doing lasagna one day and I'm doing a cottage pie another. I've already made the lasagna and today I'm going to be doing the cottage pie and the cakes. Now, before we start, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Janet and Dave, which are some guests that came. They are also viewers of mine, and they actually first heard about me on Neil Our Greatest Adventures. They are watchers of his as well. So they came at the weekend and they left a beautiful gift and a lovely card. So let me just read this to you. It says, "To Joanne, just to say thank you so very much for another lovely stay at the Philmar. So glad we decided to try room 5. Really spacious and the king size bed is the comfiest." Well, Neil R did say so. He was right. We look forward to seeing you again next year. Love from Janet and Dave. How lovely is that? That is really, it really is lovely. And they also bought me a gift. They bought me a beautiful mug, which is now my morning coffee mug, and a lovely smelling candle. It's a Christmas candle. It's warm apple and cinnamon. And I do have to say, they are my favourite candle, and I can burn these all year round, not just at Christmas. I love the smell. Really is a lovely scent. And also in the mug was a hot chocolate drink for 2 with marshmallows. Well, myself and Ade have been to Lincoln for a couple of days, and we took that with us, and that was really nice. We had that one evening in bed. So thank you very much for that. And that was really kind of you. So thank you, Janet and Dave. Going to start by making the cottage pie. So let's get the mince. There we go. So I'm going to do a big one and a spare one as well. But I'm going to start by boiling the potatoes, I think. So let's get a peeling. Right. Oh, they are some small little potatoes. I hate peeling small potatoes. I'd much rather peel a big one. They're just so much easier. They're a bit piddly, aren't they, when you're peeling little potatoes? Right then. As I said, I've already made the lasagna and it was lovely because we had it last night. Right. So I've changed my mind. I'm going to do the cottage pie itself, the meat first, because I need the same pan as I'm cooking that in to do the potatoes. So I'm going to have to empty the pan once I've made it. So I might as well make that, put it into the dishes that I need it in, and then do the potatoes. So I think that's the best way forward. So I'm going to just get the onions out. 3 onions there. I need the carrots as well. Do do. So let's do that first. So let me put the potatoes there. I've only really got the one big saucepan. It is a big one, but I've only got the one. I did have another one. I think I might have left it at where I used to live before we moved here. Because it's certainly nowhere to be seen. There we go. So let me just get these in the pan. So they're on low. And now I'm just going to do these carrots and put them in with the onion, and then they can sweat together, because you don't really want to fry them as such. You want to sweat them just to soften them. So they want about 15 minutes with the lid on very low, just to sweat, so that they soften. It sounds horrible, doesn't it, just to sweat, but that's the term. That's what you say, to sweat them down and soften them without actually browning them. So they're on very low, and like I say, about 15 minutes, and then we'll put the meat in. That's just perfect. And I'm just going to put that in, and also that. So now I'm going to, once this is all separated, I should turn the heat up a little bit, and then this meat needs browning a little bit. And then I'm going to put beef stock in that. So I've got 2 beef oxo cubes. That's what I'm putting in. So. And I've got 2 Schwartz shepherd's pie mixes to put in as well. All it is really is herbs and spices and stuff. And I know it says shepherd's pie and I'm making cottage pie, but it's still nice. So that's browned a little bit. So now I can put these 2 packs in. And then once that's mixed in, you're supposed to put 400ml, well 200ml of water per pack, but I'm going to put 500ml because I shall add some gravy as well. So I shall put most of this in. We'll start with 400. I think that's enough actually. That's it. And some tomato puree. I've got that much left, and I shall put all that in. It's under half. It's less than half of it. So I mean, it is a big one I'm doing. So I am going to put the rest of this water in. So I put 500 ml of water, and then you just let that cook. That's done. I'm just going to now pour some frozen peas. There we go. So that's some peas in there, and then I'm just going to stir them in. I'm not going to cook them in because this has got to go in the oven, and you don't want to cook peas for too long, so they'll cook in the oven. Otherwise they'll shrivel up. So there you go. That's the base for the cottage pie. So Ade has tested it. He said it's lovely. So now I'm going to test it. Well, without the peas, because the peas aren't cooked. So let's just try this. That's really nice, really tasty. Oh, that's lovely. I've not had cottage pie for a long time. It's a proper comfort winter food, isn't it? Not that it's winter, but it's certainly not very warm at the moment. So that's lovely. And it's what they chose. So let's get this in the dishes, and then we can start cooking the potatoes for the top of it. That's one. That's the big one. And then this is the smaller one, which will probably be for the freezer. Now, I'll just put them to one side and finish the potatoes. I'm going to go and wash this saucepan. That's nice and clean for the potatoes. So I'm going to put these here. Put these in the sink. Put these out of the way. So that is enough potatoes. Potatoes are on. I'm just going to wash these few pots up, and then once they come up to the boil, we can turn them down. They'll just cook about 20 minutes, and then we can mash them. And if there's any left, we'll have them for tea tonight. Because we might have done too many potatoes. In fact, if there is any left, we'll probably have cheesy potatoes tonight. Crispy chicken or something, I don't know. We're having chicken for tea, I know that much. But how we're going to have it, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to do it crispy, because I did some chicken wings a few days ago. And, last week actually. And what I did, I marinated the chicken wings in spices, and then I tossed them in some corn flour and just baked them in the oven, and they were really crispy. They were really nice. I've never done them like that before, and they were really nice. I think I'm going to do the same tonight with the chicken thighs that we've got, because that will be nice. And at some point I need to redo the wood in the kitchen, because it looks like it's drying out a little bit, so it needs waxing again. It does need doing every so often, and I'll do that with yourselves. I'll show you before and after, because you won't believe how lovely it looks. I should do it more than I do really, but it's fine. You can see when it starts drying out. You can see by the colour. Right, so that's all done now. I'm just going to put some butter in. Quite a bit of butter. and then some milk. And then I can mash them. I do like mashed potato, I must say. I prefer mashed than just boiled potatoes. Unless they're new potatoes. If they're new potatoes, that's different because they are nice. And I quite like new potatoes with salad, you know. I remember my mum doing that when we was younger. She always used to do new potatoes with salad. So we'll do this one first. So that is done. A little bit more this side. Then I'm going to put some pepper on. That's it. That's that one, and then I can put the rest on here. So that one's for the freezer, and the other one is for tomorrow. There we go. When I make a cottage pie, I always put cheese on the top of it. But one night they're having lasagna, which obviously is covered in cheese and it's got cheese in it as well. So I don't want it to be too samey, so I'm not going to put cheese on their cottage pie. So the one that's going to be for the freezer, which is that one, that's the one I'm going to put cheese on. And I've got a little bit left, so from the lasagna, that can go on here. There you go, that's the one for the freezer. And that's the one for tomorrow. So that's it for now. I've done 2 cottage pies, and then tomorrow, which will be in this vlog, I will be doing the cakes. I don't want to do them today because they won't be, I want them to be nice and fresh. And the chocolate cake will last till the following day as well. So that's why I want to do them tomorrow. So I'm just going to go wash these few pots up. And then I'm going to put the kettle on and make a drink because my mum's just turned up. So I'm going to sit and have a little chat to my mum. And then tomorrow I'll be making the cake. So I'll see you then. Well, it's the following day and I'm just about to start making the cupcakes. I've got 8 ounces of self-raising flour, 8 ounces of sugar, 8 ounces of butter or margarine, and 4 eggs, 2 tablespoons of milk, and then I'm also going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. Then I'm going to halve the recipe, and I'm going to put vanilla extract in half of it, and then some Bournville Cadbury's cocoa in the other half to make the chocolate cupcakes. She wants 6 vanilla and 6 chocolate cupcakes, so she wants those for tonight. So let's get on with these cakes. I'm going to start by mixing the butter and the sugar together. Sugar. Now I'm going to add 1 egg to start with a little bit of flour, and adding the flour stops it from splitting, because if you don't do that it will split. I'm going to add another egg and a little bit more flour. And another egg. And the last egg. That's all the eggs. So I'm just going to turn the speed up and then put the rest of the flour in. Actually, I'm also going to put a teaspoon of baking powder in as well. At that point, and the rest of the flour. So I've took half of the mixture out and put some vanilla extract in that. That's for the vanilla cupcakes. And then the other half, I've just put some Cadbury's Bourneville cocoa in that to make the chocolate cupcakes. So let me move these out of the way. I'm going to keep them there because I'm going to need them because I'm going to make the other cake in a minute as well. So let's put that out of the way. So that's the 6 vanilla cupcakes and the 6 chocolate. So I'm just going to pop those in the oven, and then there's an extra few there for myself and Addy. After all, we need to test them, don't we, really? We need to make sure that what we're giving to other people are spot on. So I've had to do a couple of extra for us to try. So let me just put these in the oven, and they'll want about 15-20 minutes, I think, on 180. So let's get those in now. There we go. So I've set the timer for 15 minutes and we'll give them a little check again with the cocktail stick. That's all right, I check my cakes. And right, I think these might be ready. So I just need to test them with this. Yep. Yeah. So there you go, that's the cupcakes. And they look lovely. So I've just got to let those cool down, and then once they've cooled down we can decorate them. But she doesn't want them until this evening. And now we've just got to put this cake together, this chocolate fudgy one. Now I've got some flour, caster sugar, cocoa, 1 egg, baking soda, baking powder, a little bit of salt and some buttermilk. Now I didn't have any buttermilk, so I've put some milk in there with a little bit of lemon juice, and that really is the same as buttermilk really, probably not as good, but it's absolutely fine, and some vanilla extract. So I've still got my mixer from when I've just made these other cakes, but it's absolutely fine because there's only chocolate mixture in it and on the beater, but that's what I'm making, so it'll be fine. So you start by putting all your dry ingredients in first, your sugar, your flour and your cocoa, and your bicarb as well, baking powder and salt. Just going to crack the egg ready. So let's just put this on and give this a little mix. And then you pour in the egg and the wet ingredients, like so. That is all done. Now I'm going to pop this in another pan in case it leaks, because it's got a loose bottom and it's a very runny mixture. So I've mixed it all together, and I'm going to just take it from the edges and make sure it is all mixed at the bottom. It looks a lovely rich mixture, I must say. And then I'm going to pour it in here, and then I am going to get it straight in the oven. So that can now go straight into the oven. and that one's about 45 minutes. So we'll come back in half an hour, I think, just to check it, because it's a smaller cake. I have halved the mixture because it did recommend if you're doing a 6-inch cake to halve it. So that's what I've done. So I'm assuming it may not need as long. So I'm just going to give it half an hour and then check it. You want the cocktail stick to come out slightly tacky. You don't want it to be completely clean, because that means the cake will have dried out on this particular cake. You don't want it to come out wet, just slightly tacky. So I've just put everything in the mixer to give it a little mix, and then I shall separate half to make the vanilla and half to make the chocolate. And I'll just put that there for a minute. Then I'm going to put half of this in here. And then the other half back on there with, actually let me leave that there. I'm just going to go and melt this chocolate. And I'm going to put a good dessert spoon of ice cocoa in. Just over. And that's the chocolate sponge, which looks lovely and feels nice as well. It hasn't leaked out as well, which is good. So now I can put it in an icing bag. So that's the 6 vanilla and that's the 6 chocolate cakes. That's what's going to be the Black Forest cake, and it's a really rich chocolate cake. It really is lovely. She didn't want a very big one. And then this is the lasagna. That's for tonight. And I'll be doing that with maybe a few chips because they didn't want salad, peas and garlic bread, so they'll be looking forward to that, I'm sure. And then for dessert we're doing the Philmar Special pancakes, which actually was my mum's special, my mum and dad's special. When they had a hotel, they used to have the Rufford Hotel, which is down Saxby Avenue in Skegness, and she used to do what she used to call the Rufford Special pancakes, which is pancakes filled, should I say, with cherry pie filling and ice cream, and then dusted with a little icing sugar. And that is what I'm going to do. So they are definitely looking forward to that. And they did choose what they wanted to eat, so they are getting what they wanted. So I might make the pancake mix ready now so that I've not got to do that later. I've done the cake, I've decorated the cupcakes, which I'll show you when I've put and presented as I'm going to give them to her. That's the other lady I've got staying. And the other chocolate cake, I'm not going to decorate that until tomorrow. I want it to cool completely, and I don't want to decorate it until she's going to get it, really, which will be tomorrow. So that's everything for now. Let's get this pancake mix done, and then I will show you me dishing dinner up later on this evening for the guests. So I've got the pancake mixture here, which is flour, just a teaspoon of icing sugar, just for sweetness really. That's not really necessary, you don't need to put that in. A pinch of salt, egg and milk. So I'm just going to put a little bit of butter in the pan, and then we can get frying these pancakes. And then, as I say, when I serve these, I'm going to put some red cherry pie filling inside. And then I'm going to put ice cream in as well, 2 scoops of ice cream, fold it over and then sprinkle with icing sugar. And that's the pancakes done, all ready for later. So it's now bang on 3 p.m. and I've been in this kitchen baking, cooking and everything since 8 a.m. this morning. Started doing breakfast. As soon as breakfast was done and I'd cleared the tables, I started on the cakes. Then obviously once I'd done the cupcakes, I did the other cake, made the buttercream, decorated the cakes, and now just made the pancakes. I've took the lasagna out. That's all done. Just wants popping in the oven to cook. And then I've told you what I'm doing with it. I will show you myself dishing up later on this evening when they get here. They're not here as yet. And the pancakes are done, cakes are done, everything's done. So let me just show you what I've done with the little cupcakes. So that's what I've done with the little cupcakes. Look, I've put them in there and wrapped them up for her, so I can give her that later on today. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that vlog. Now, it is the following day, and Maggie, the lady I made the cakes for, has just left. And just before she left, when I gave her cake to take, she handed me a little gift. Well, I thought that was so kind of her. She bought me some Lindor chocolate, and also she got me some Monty Bojangle chocolate. So how kind is that? And she not only did that, she's been and booked another 3 dates. She's coming back this year for a few nights, and she's booked 3 further dates for next year already. So she really has enjoyed her stay. She loves coming. Maggie's such a lovely lady, and she's a pleasure to have. She's a lovely guest. And yeah, it's really nice. So thank you very much for that, Maggie. That's greatly appreciated. Now, what I did forget to do is show you me decorating her cake, the last one, the Black Forest one. So I do apologise for that. So I will put a couple of pictures on the end. I didn't even take a picture of it, so I have to ask Maggie to send me a picture. The pictures that she sent me, I will put on, but obviously it's not, I didn't vlog it when I was decorating it, so I do apologise about that. But what I did, I got some black cherry jam, and I cut the cake in half, and I put a layer of cherry jam, black cherry jam, and then I did a beautiful fudgy fondant icing. It's not really a buttercream as such. It's a really fudgy icing, and it's lovely. I wish I'd have done it with you. I do apologise about that. So put a layer of that in, put the top of the cake on, and then I covered it in that, put some cherry jam on the top, and then I grated some Cadbury's chocolate over the top of that, and it was really nice. So this is it. That she sent me a message later on in the evening telling me how lovely it was. So it's been a productive couple of days. And thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed it. So I will see you again next week. Thanks so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you again soon. Bye.